Hello, smart people. Welcome to SciTech Weekly, a place where you will get weekly updates in the field of science and technology. So, here are our top news from this week.
NASA's Voyager 2 became the second man-made object to enter the interstellar space. For the second time in history, a human-made object has reached to the space between the stars. NASA's Voyager 2 probe now has exited the heliosphere, the protective bubble of particles and magnetic field created by the Sun. Comparing the data from different instruments aboard the trailblazing spacecraft mission, scientists determined the probe crossed the outer edge of the heliosphere on November 5. This boundary, called the heliosphere, is where the tenuous hot solar wind meets the cold dense interstellar medium. Voyager 2 carries a working instrument that will provide first of its kind observation of the nature of this gateway into interstellar space. Voyager 2 now is slightly more than 11 billion miles from Earth. Mission operators that still can communicate with Voyager 2 as it enters this new phase of its journey, but information moving at the speed of light takes about 16.5 hours to travel from the spacecraft to Earth. New farthest object discovered in our solar system. New dwarf planets have been found at the edge of our solar system at about a distance of 120 astronomical units. The new object is known as 2018 VG18, also known as Far Out. It was recently discovered by Subaru 8-meter telescope in Hawaii. Later, the existence was confirmed by Magellan telescope in Chile. 2018 VJ18 takes about 1000 years to complete one orbit around the Sun. Collected data states it as a pink dwarf planet covered with ice. The planet is about 500 km across. Saturn is losing its ring. A new study published in a journal Lacrosse said that Saturn will lose its ring in about 100 million years. Saturn is losing its ring in a phenomenon called ring rain. James O'Donoghue and colleagues theorized that ring rain begins when the ring particles become electrically charged either by UV radiation or plasma. The energized particles then react to Saturn's magnetic field and starts falling into atmosphere. Finding based on the Keck Observatory telescope in Hawaii Mauna Kea Mountain said that Saturn will lose the ring in about 300 million years. But recently NASA's Cassini spacecraft detected the ring rain too at the equator, which says that the ring has a lifespan of about 100 million years. Self-organizing molecules could store data in individual atoms. Scientists at the University of Basel Department of Physics says our ultimate goal is to find the way to store greater amount of information on devices that take up less physical space. Takes it to extreme end. The goal recently has led to the physicists crack the code of storing digital information into the specifically crafted molecules using individual atoms like ones and zeros of binary codes. For the past several years, scientists have been refining the nanotechnology that lets them to accomplish all that. It is a promising concept, but building the actual storage system, assembling molecules to hold the atoms that are manipulated to one state or another, is still too difficult and costly to be practical. The first rocket launch on Thursday in test mission became the first commercial US flight beyond the atmosphere since 2011. A Virgin Galactic rocket plane blasted to the edge of space on Thursday, capping off a year of difficult testing and failures. The test flights digs a way for civilian space race that could just begin as soon as next year, with Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic battling others' ventures to be the first to offer suborbital flights to the tourist. Virgin's airplane like Spaceship Two took off on Thursday morning from California's Medway Air and Sportscraft and Spaceport about 90 miles. The high-altitude launch comes 4 years after the original Spaceship Two crashed during a test flight. More than 600 people have paid or put down deposit to flight about Virgin's suborbital flights, including the actor Leonardo DiCaprio and pop stars Justin Bieber. A 90-minute flight cost $250,000. MIT figures out a way to shrink 3D objects to nanoscale. It is highly difficult to create nanoscale 3D objects. The available technique either tends to be slow or are limited to the specific materials and shapes. MIT researchers have now devised a technique for making nanoscale visions of 3D objects using a wide variety of materials and shapes. The team ultimately reversed a process for imaging brain tissues, whittling a relatively large object down to create 1/1000th of its original size. Scientists' approach starts by creating a scaffold made of polycrylate. Then they soak the structure in a solution of the fluorescent molecule that attach to the scaffold when exposed to light. Creators can use lasers to place almost any particle wherever they want, whether it is genetic material or metal nanoparticles. To shrink the structure down after the point, the team introduces an acid that blocks negative charge in the polycrylate and forces it to shrink. Scientists reveal a massive biosphere of microscopic life hidden under the Earth's surface. The Earth is far more alive than previously thought, according to the deep life studies that reveals a rich ecosystem beneath our feet that is almost twice the size of the world's ocean. Despite the extreme heat, no light, minuscule nutrition, and intense pressure, scientists estimate that this subterranean biosphere is stuffed up between 15 to 23 billion tons of microorganisms. It is like finding a whole new reservoir of life on Earth. We are discovering new types of life all the time. So much of life is within the Earth rather than top of it. Samples were taken from the Bore's hole, more than 5 km deep undersea drilling site to construct models of the ecosystem and estimate how much living carbon it might contain. The results suggested 70% of the Earth's bacteria and archaea exist in the subsurface. Ocean organisms found 2.5 km below the surface has been buried for millions of years and may not rely at all on energy from the sun. Instead, the methanogen has found a way to create methane in this low energy environment, which it may not use to reproduce or divide but to replace or repair broken parts. The strangest thing in that some organisms can exist for millennia. They are metabiologically active, but in stasis with less energy than we thought possible of supporting life.
Thank you guys for watching our video. Follow our media partners Dynamic Science, Exploring the Interstellar and Cosmology on Instagram and Facebook. Stay tuned.